the reason I'm just gonna go over these decks because people are wondering like what the best decks are right now and what to be playing, right? So let's start off with this Obstacon deck right here, right? It ended up winning the tournament, and Obstacon is one of those cards that replaces Hydreigon, right? That being said, combining it with Pierce, you do have a lot of control, and you do have Chingling in order to put that chip damage to make Obstacon, attack for 120 damage. Now, that being said, right, Obstacon has that little, drawback where in order to do the 120, you do need to have the damage. You do play Rocky Helmet, you get the Chingling chip, and you have Darkrai to chip as well. And it's only 2 energy to attack. So, the deck is very controlled and very consistent. And you have Mega Absol because, it's one of the best control cards that you could play in a deck like this. And, we already talked about Pierce. It's just super strong. And then, Abuse, Copycat, and Rare Candy, like the Hydreigon. You got anything else to say about this deck, Tosh?
Yeah, so really quick with this one, my feedback is that Mega Absol needs that control. And Obstacon with energy removal with Pierce does give that to it. So it gives Absol a clear path to do 80 and get rid of a support card that your opponent probably needs, and then kind of just goes back into an Obstacon. So basically, you could use the Absol to do the beginning damage, and then Obstacon can hit for 120, and 80 plus 120 is 200 damage, and nothing can really survive that. So I think Absol found a better partner with Obstacon and with Piers, and again, it's just a really it fits. It's really nice. So I like that. We'll find a better partner besides maybe Pink or Ninja. I don't know. It's definitely there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe even like, again, maybe you run Piers in Alolan Ninetales. Like you just run like Obstacon with Ninetales, but you don't even use Obstacon kind of thing. I don't, you know what I mean? Like just some sort of raw energy removal to make sure that Ninetales lock goes down. But that's my feedback on that one. I do like Alolan Ninetales, but I feel like it's still kind of a gimmick. How do you feel about that one, Ericko?
Yeah, the deck is really good, especially it blew my expectations on, it made top 16 in the tournament, abusing Greninja EX, which is kind of nice. At the same time, Alolan Ninetales is a stage 1. A lot of people are playing, that stadium card that boosts your attack, stage 1 attacks, so you could take advantage of that. And most decks that's not daycare, you could take energy lock them, and it's only a 2 energy attacker, right? So if you go second playing Vulpix, you're pretty much in a advantageous position here. Now that being said, you got your backups like Greninja. Do Greninja here because you do want to take care of Oricorio, because that becomes like a losing condition, right? So you do want to prioritize, having that in the back row, and it's chipping damage, right? It's just really good. And your second attacker would be Greninja EX, because Greninja EX is nasty, and you can swap around everything on the field on demand. Irida is so good in this format. I mean, any water deck, there's no reason why not to. And if you're just looking for the best way to play Alolan Ninetales at this very moment, I think this is the correct build. And I think that's all I have to say about this deck at the moment.
On deck list, again, I can't read that name. I do apologize, but I will take it away really quick. The only takeaway that I see with this deck list is that I think it needs another Ilima, or just in case, what do you do if you start with Darkrai or Mega Kangaskhan? That's a big brick. Yes, you're running multiple babies to have that in front. You have, again, 2 babies, 3, 4, 5, versus the 3, again, Mega Kangaskhan and Darkrai. But in case you do get the one time when Darkrai's at the front or Mega Kangaskhan, you're kind of cooked. Other than that, great deck. Ericko, how do you feel about this deck list?
Remember, blue is the stadium card.
Oh, yeah, correct.
It is the starting plane, right? You do want to take advantage of that field, that stadium card, to make Mega Kangaskhan gain 20 HP, which puts him around that 200 HP, which is kind of insane. Mega Kangaskhan, abusing Red and Giovanni, it just stacks on the other attack like if it was a brand new attack. So for example, the 40 would be attacking for 60 if used for Red. The 40 would be attacking for 50 if it was for Geo. It's just absolutely broken. This deck is so consistent. Darkrai is insane.
Wait.
They made top 4. I'm losing my voice.
Ericko.
Yeah.
Fire or Choreo?
Hold up. We can leave that one for the
Well, no,
last.
with Mega Kangaskhan.
You think so?
Wouldn't that boost it to 20 plus, like for both attacks?
Maybe. Oh, yeah. I think it would. But,
Sorry.
that being said...
I was thinking, I was cooking.
That being said, I feel like Sabrina's nasty. Rocky Helmet is really good because you could push for damage like Suicune, anything that's like 140. You could put them in KO range. You got Darkrai adding an extra 20 to your damage on top of like Geo and Red. I just love this deck because there's so many lines into this deck. So Tyrogue is there to deal with Oricorios. So is Sabrina. So is Rocky Helmet. This deck is amazing. So I would say I feel like this deck is going to be a staple moving on, to the format.
Yeah. And I think the only loss that we had was when Mega Kangaskhan got started, was in the active. It was really tough.
When you break, right?
And again, Obstacon did get rid of the energies with Piers. The 19 cards.
Exactly.
But it went 4-2.
Yeah.
Hey, if you can't beat it, like, shoot. Like, you just lose the game, so...
Like, you're in a very defensive position here, and clearly you can see it works. You got Metal Core, just giving you that extra HP along with, Adamant. And then you got Team Rocket's Grunt just to troll people. And hey, if luck is in your favor, right? Guzma is also pretty good in this format as well. So, there's just a lot of item cards, such as Rocky Helmet, Poncho, whatever you want to call it, even Metal Core, what opposing ones. So, it's very, very useful to play. And, I like the simplicity of this deck. It's just overall the most appealing thing. That Toxicity, right?
Yep.
That deck is actually a really interesting electric deck, which has a lot of potential. Again, like, we didn't see any of the Gardevoirs pop off like we expected to, but at the same time, it's good to have that diversity and stuff like that. Having the Zeraoras, Elemental Switch, and just being able to use Spiritomb to attack the back row. And, having Toxicity come in and just, attack 30 on everything on the board is kind of insane. And having that big HP is insane. What do you think? I think overall it's pretty nice and consistent.
Yeah. Also, too, again, Jay ran the blue and the Squirt Bottle, which was basically 2 gyms. Again,
yep.
it was the other 2 gyms that wasn't the Psychic one. So he had the options to get all basic Pokemon to get to 20 HP higher. And also the stage 1s like Toxicity to do 10 more additional damage. So that's pretty sick. So I like this deck list. Again, Electricity definitely needed it. We'll see how this goes. Our Lightning decks. But yeah.
One last thing. Forming ones. You see Team Galactic. That's the
Psychic gym. Or Psychic,
the
Psychic Stadium.
Peculiar Plaza, which allows you to get that retreat. And it looks like the one Meloetta and Mega Gardevoir line with, regular Gardevoir to handle Oricorio was enough to, be the best performing Gardevoir deck in the tournament today. So, like, this is like a rough build of it. And, I would recommend people, to try this build out or fine tune it here and there. Again, this deck right here is super strong, and I would recommend you guys try it out.
So the way that this deck plays is pretty much Diantha basically heals for 90, and you lose 2 Psychic Energies, but you just get it back with the Gardevoir or even base Gardevoir as well too, with the Psy Turbo. So again, yeah, you basically do that. Also, they do run the 1 Lily that can be used for Gardevoir as well. So basically just Gardevoir all day, and it claps and it works. So
Perfect.
But-
And you know, that's all. Thank you guys for coming out. Subscribe to the channel. Sub to Tajima's YouTube channel and his Twitch. Follow him there. Again, I want to give a shout out